an Arizona Lotus Corporation radio station. Stream us on your cell, laptop, desktop, or tablet at KFMA.com. You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Monday, February 12th. Good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning.
And good morning to you, which, you know, we've argued and countless arguments have been made for the past couple decades that the day after the Super Bowl should be considered a national holiday.
Yeah.
We should be having the day off, but here we are working hard like lots of you this morning, waking up early, even though you stayed up a little bit later because of the game went into overtime.
Yeah,
and what a fantastic game it was.
It was.
Yeah. In fact, actually, I should be starting off the show with this little audio bit in case you missed it. All right.
First and goal. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City! The game-winning drive of Mahomes' career. He's been waiting for. He's won Super Bowls, but he's never had it in an overtime. He is the best. He is the standard. Where Michael Jordan wins it again.
The seventh longest game in the history of the NFL was one of the most memorable ones as well. And the Chiefs, you might as well say it right now, they have their dynasty.
Yeah, that's the word they're throwing out liberally this morning is dynasty. The Kansas City Chiefs won 3 of their last 4 Super Bowl appearances in the last year.
Nice.
In the last 4 years, I guess. And, you know, we'll have Justin Spears kind of break down the ins and outs of the football talk. But it was a very exciting game where the Chiefs were, behind most of the game until they slowly, gradually made their way back and then went into overtime and had that game-winning drive with the very last seconds on the clock in the first quarter of overtime with this new NFL overtime rule, which a lot of people still aren't on board with, because they said, the announcer said, as they were winding down the end of the first quarter, they said what everyone was thinking, like, why aren't the Chiefs calling a timeout? Because they're running out of time in this overtime. And they're like, no, this is just first quarter of overtime, man. We keep going. They're like, oh, okay. Still kind of catching up on them rules. But Did you have a good time on the Super Bowl Sunday?
I did. I mean, we had people come over.
Nice.
Food. It was a very exciting game.
It was very good. Yeah, people over and stuff. That's cool.
I mean, my oldest and one of my son's friends.
Okay.
But that's more than we normally do.
Well, technically, you have a party in your house every single night of the week. So, yeah, you have a little get-together in your bedroom each and every night. So, that's good. Yeah, it's all about getting together with friends and family and stuff. I made my rounds and, ate a bunch of food. Just stopped by. I was like, oh, let me try this. Okay, I got to run. Let me try this. Okay, I got to run. And, I did not stop by Mari's mom's house because the pressure was on too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, to have relations with said woman because I was just joking and I didn't want to be in a position. I'm like, oh, now I got to put up or shut up. So I ran like a little bitch. This is basically year 2024 for me is going to be the year of the little bitch. This is going to be the first time too in my illustrious life and career of not being a little bitch. This is the year I'm going to embrace that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you what, me having machismo being like, oh, I should do that. I'm dude. I could do that. That's got me in a lot of trouble over the years, right? So I really want to embrace. This has nothing to do with the Super Bowl, by the way. This is my ADD going off. But yeah, now that the Chiefs, they cemented their, concrete year, now we could turn the page back to me. All right, I'm going to embrace the year being a little bitch. Now let's go back to the Chiefs. I'm sorry. What a fantastic place to celebrate winning the Super Bowl than Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Every other place in the country, once the Super Bowl happens and, say if it's on the East Coast, you're already up against the clock as far as when they stop serving alcohol and you can party and celebrate. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, being in the party capital of the world, Las Vegas, they could take their sweet ass time with all the interviews and all the showers and all the catching up with friends and family, and then hit the strip and rage until like right now. Like that's the thing. We're starting off the show at 6:05 in the morning. It's 6:05 in Las Vegas as well.
Right.
And I guarantee you a majority of the Kansas City Chiefs are still out there on the strip going hard.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, right? Just imagine that high.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then they're popping bottles and spending lots of money. So much money was spent on the Super Bowl last night just to be in attendance there.
Oh my God, some of the tickets were insane.
Not even the tickets. You know what the Allegiant Stadium was known for when they were building the stadium is they have this basically like a nightclub in the end zone. That's a very Las Vegas thing. And they have basically tables and bottle service in the end zone nightclub. Those tables for bottle service ran about $700,000 a piece.
Whoa.
Yes, for just the table. And then, everything else on top, you're still spending money on top. So if you say you wanted like a glass of tap water, that's only $350,000. Boom, right there on the credit card. So like tons of money was made in Las Vegas. Of course, the Super Bowl commercials, the halftime show, so much to get to. We will just kind of sprinkle it in throughout the show. Our listener bait today, since football season is over, we could laser focus in on our Tucson Roadrunners, who are number one in the AHL as they continue to march towards the Calder Cup. So I'll be giving away tickets for Roadrunners game this Friday night later on this morning. Also, I have tickets for the rodeo. I know the rodeo parade is coming up on Thursday. These are tickets for the actual rodeo that they throw a parade for. Yeah. And if you want to go see some rodeo action, stick around because I'll give you an opportunity to win tickets for that as well. And so much more. So it's Weirdo and I hanging out this morning. It's going to be a good time. We'll be back with your morning moron after Avenged Sevenfold and kicking things off with STP. It's Interstate Love Song on Rock 102.1 KFMA. I forgot. You want to say anything?
No, I guess not. I'm good.
Are we an hour behind? Is Vegas an hour behind? Anthony on the stream is pointing that out. Maybe so.
Same time.
Are you sure? You might want to look that up real quick because, again, obviously all of us Arizonans, we don't pay attention to, time changes and time zones.
No, we don't.
Yes, but I think actually Anthony might be right. So if it's like 9 a.m. here, it's 8 a.m. in Vegas. Is that correct?
That is correct.
There you go. See, I like how confident you are on this.
I
I'll
checked it the other day because when they said that the game was going to start at 4:30, I was like, is that 4:30 our time?
Yes.
Or crap.
You're ridiculous. Yeah.
I'm
dumb. So, but okay. So it's only 8 a.m. in Las Vegas. So guaranteed a few more Chiefs are still out there going hard in the paint. I will say this, man. I'm going through all my different videos that we're going to share, and we're live on the podcast broadcast. So you'll be able to see them as well. Like all these Taylor Swift videos that are popping up, give credit where credit is due. She is a hardcore partier, right? There was videos of her slamming beer during the game. Right now, her boyfriend's out on the field, obviously not drinking whatsoever, and trying to win a Super Bowl. He does that, then showers up, then starts post gaming. At that point, his girlfriend has a good 6-7 hours head start just drinking. And they were going and being filmed, going all the way until he took her back to the hotel room around 7 a.m. this morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
hardcore.
and the fact that they had her on screen, like chugging a beer.
That was just one time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and that's not even all the shots and everything else that you probably take. Let's not take away from the fact that obviously she's a rock star. And we're not going to be talking all Taylor stuff today. But, she's been a famous musician for a long time. So she definitely knows how to drink.
Exactly.
At what point are we getting concerned? She drank for 16 hours straight.
I mean,
and she's only 105 pounds, man.
105 pounds, 6 foot. Yeah, she's tiny.
Yeah, dude. Well, we could debate that on the podcast broadcast. You can join us youtube.com/beefvegan. We got your TMI Top 5 coming up after new music from Mammoth WVH. Here's I'm All Right on Rock 102.1. All right.
But for real, has there ever been any footage of her being a stumbling idiot drunk? I don't think so.
I know. And,
she's professional.
She doesn't come off like somebody who would do cocaine. But she probably has some vitamin B shots or some kind of like secret celebrity go juice that might be healthy.
Something.
And yeah, dude, because there's no way she was putting down pretzel bites to try to absorb the alcohol while continuing to go through. I mean, I've definitely partied that long before, many different times scenarios. And sometimes I cheated and used performance enhancers to continue to get to party. I
have never done it. I've never I've heard people be like, yeah, 10, 12, 14 hours. And I'm like, no, I can make it like 3. And then I'm done.
Yeah. Well,
can't do it.
You're not a rock star. But
Nope.
yeah, the fact that she went from yesterday, she was in the stadium and presumably drinking, at least had her first cocktail before the national anthem around that time, right?
Mhm.
And then started drinking. And the game went into overtime. Of course, they're in a suite, so there is no cutoff alcohol in a suite, especially when you spend $1 million on that suite, right? So even if she's pacing herself there, then immediately goes out to Vegas. And I know the energy of Vegas when you're in the air, when you're in the area, and you're like you have that energy all around you. It kind of keeps you up and going. She got to be exhausted today, though. In fact, actually, I'll show you. Let me show you Vegas. This is Vegas in a nutshell of, how crazy things are. And this has nothing to do with Taylor Swift, but we've talked about this before as far as like inside scoop of Las Vegas. This is an old cliche that most people in the public don't know about, but one of the downsides of being a casino employee is you constantly have to clean up after other people's messes.
Yeah.
And when I say messes, I'm not talking about trash. I'm talking about them making a mess of themselves. And even if it's like a hot girl, if she's at a slot machine that seems lucky and she has to go to the bathroom, she's not getting up from that slot machine. And if you don't believe me, I got Exhibit A right here. Okay. It's titled Nasty Bitch. You see it?
My God.
And what kind of purse is that?
It looks like a knockoff.
Well, it probably is. Is this Ariana Grande before? I know she's promoting her new movie, Wicked. And this is a great way to promote it.
Wicked wee.
Yeah, dude. So this happens all the time.
Yeah, it's so gross.
I know.
Her shoes are cute, though.
Yeah. All right. Give me a scale. Everyone watching on the stream. If you watched the Super Bowl, how enjoyable was the Super Bowl on a scale of 1 to 10? And also, Manny, I got your note. Thank you for that. Look at this. So I overheard, and I'll show this. Valdez did this. I overheard the break that Valdez did with Manny over the weekend. Did you hear it?
No.
It's pretty funny. So Valdez does weekend shift, and of course he's on Manny's football team, and they promoted the football game, which is going to be not this weekend but next weekend, or is it this?
It is this weekend. It's the 17th.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to be able to make it. I want to come out to one of those games, but I'm going to be hosting that High in the Desert concert that's at the Amex.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it with Shane from Tucson Foodie next. Or tomorrow, I mean. All right, well, let's get on the air here. And then I'll pull up that audio clip of Valdez and Manny. It's awesome. But thanks for the note. It was a pleasant surprise. Rock 102.1 KFMA. When I wake up when I come here in the morning, first thing in the morning, and I see that all the buttons are kind of messed with, initially I get upset.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't have like a foam on my microphone, and I had a little post-it note.
Rude.
And and I went up like almost raging, I'm like sleep deprived, cranky that I'm even here on a Monday, a day after the Super Bowl. And I'm like, what stupid ass note do I got on here? And it says, "Hi, Beef. I'm everywhere. OG1, Manny. Spread cheeks, not hate." And I can't be mad at that. So it actually instantly put me in a good mood. So thank you for that, Manny. And Manny was on with Valdez doing his show on Saturday or Sunday, I believe. And and it was pretty fun. They're just kind of promoting their local football. So the football season's over, right, for the NFL. But Tucson actually has some tackle football going on. And this Sunday, Valdez is on OG streamer Manny's football team. They're playing at, I know, Manny, give me the information on the podcast stream as far as what high school and everything. It's this Saturday. It's at a local hospital, but if you want to see Valdez in action,
at a local hospital,
high school.
Oh,
did I say hospital?
You did.
I got a fat tongue, dude. So Manny will give me the info. So if you guys want to see that, that's a good time. So I want to see Valdez kick some ass on the football field, and I'll be there with, I don't know, inhalers and Gatorade.
I will be up in Phoenix watching little kids play lacrosse.
All right, good
like
times.
herding cats.
Right. All right, well, let's get into your TMI top 5. Here's top 5 headlines that I came across today that I want to share with you. Volunteers have collected 50 pounds of gum from the seats of the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. Have you ever been to Red Rocks Amphitheater?
I have. I wasn't there to see a show, but went there during the day. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's a bucket list for me to be there, and especially backstage as well. I've had many friends play there. I've always missed the opportunity and been too broke. And probably drunk.
Okay.
But yeah, one of these times for sure. But yeah, that 50 pounds of gum from underneath the seats was in 2023 alone.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but what are you going to do? You can't spit it out, and people think it's bad that you swallow it. So that's first headline. A new study says New Orleans is the top spring break destination of 2024.
Interesting.
And it's also the most dangerous. And I don't understand why New Orleans would be the top spring break destination. Like, haven't they heard of beaches?
Right. I was about to say warmth and sun.
Do you like women in bathing suits? Because the closer you go to water, the more bathing suits there will be, and they're practically already naked. So that's spring break. I understand the allure of, Fat Tuesday, which I think is tomorrow. And
it is.
Yeah. And just Mardi Gras in general and throwing out beads to see boobs. But in spring break, if I recall correctly, you see boobs, especially if you're like at a beach bar. Around like 1:30 in the morning, boobs will pop out.
Anytime I hear spring break, like Cancun is the first thing that comes to mind.
Have you been to Cancun?
No.
Have you ever done spring break?
No.
Okay.
You remember, I was a young mom.
No, I understand that. And, and I feel your pain on that one. I did many of spring breaks, even when I wasn't going to school. I had to cut myself off at a certain point. I still have friends that my age that will go down to Rocky Point to DJ college spring break. So they're getting older and the kids are staying the same age. And it's a little too creepy for me, but at the same time, low key envious. Just a little bit. Right? Some good times to be had at spring break for sure. And it is fastly approaching. But if you're a college student, don't go to New Orleans for spring break. It is one of the most dangerous and least likely to see boobs. Surprisingly, right? Adults who are married report being far happier than people in other relationship statuses. I call shenanigans on that.
I've heard this before.
Yeah, it's obviously paid for by big marriage.
So usually when I've heard this statistic before, it was about the frequency per month of having sex.
Okay.
And that actually married people do have sex more frequently than single people.
Well, yes, because single, you're always on the hunt, and so like if you score like once a month, you're only doing it once a month. But you're married, you do it twice a month. That's double the average right there. I get it.
You're like, I'm doing great this month.
Well, speaking of marriage and sex, a new study found that having regular erections could be the key to good sex life in old age and staving off impotence. Yeah.
That kind of seems like the duh answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you get older, as long as you can get it up, you're going to have a good time. Yeah. No duh.
Right. If you got wood, you're good. No wood, no good. Right. It's as simple as that. I'm not even a scientist, bro. All right, let's hit the reset. We're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. Your single song takeover and music is on the way from I Prevail. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me something I don't know.
Thank you, Dr. Obvious.
All right. Yeah, we talked about boobs a lot on there. That's good. And nobody answered my question, which is fine. I said, what was your favorite Super Bowl commercial? Everyone's like, fuck the commercials.
Well, first you asked for a scale of 1 to 10.
I didn't get that either.
Yes, you did. Meh, 5, 9, 6 to 7, 8, 7.
All right. So, well, Anthony's hating. I don't know why you're hating so much, Anthony. And I'm glad that you had a good time at the Tool Show. That looked awesome.
Yeah, it did.
The game went into overtime. It was tied. It was a comfort from behind. It had all the aspects of an entertaining game. See, Dave said 9, 6 to 7. Darlene said 8 and Jeff said 7. So yeah, I think above 5 is a pretty accurate.
The only thing I remember from the Super Bowl last year was Rihanna's performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year I actually remember, there was the interception, there was the fumble. Like I actually am starting to get more into football and understanding it better. But then my boyfriend, during the overtime, he's like, I feel like I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, this just feels like a freaking Super Bowl movie.
Right. And then Manny, I see your comment. Yeah, you and Valdez could pop in. I don't know how busy and who else I'm going to have in on the podcast. So it might be for a segment or two, or it might be for the whole podcast, but go ahead and plan on it and tell Valdez as well. So that would be fun. But I do know that we have a bunch of concerts and a whole other litany of shit we got to cover this week. And we're just getting started. And I'm actually kind of slacking. I'm kind of behind. I wish I had, I don't know. I just some coworkers who would help. I don't know. What are you doing?
What am I doing? I mean, you got it on your phone. No, I just got a notification. I just got some more.
You didn't even get what I was saying. I was just like, dude, I wish I had some coworkers who could help. And you're fucking texting your family, and you didn't even get that. Okay, well, I guess it's on me. So I have some things I have to book, and don't worry about Weirdo. She'll be too busy kissing and lipping, and I was gonna say sucking. You asked me to
get these together to talk about what I did this weekend, and I just got some more
fascinating stuff. Can't wait for it. Everyone's gonna be so intrigued on that. And while we have no guests because they got no one helping booking or nothing like that.
Hey,
earlier this morning,
last week I asked you about metalcore, and you're like, I don't worry about it.
Well, no, I didn't want any metalcore. I didn't want the bands coming in because everything was, we were. First off, you might not have even came in on Friday. There was a lot of issues, right? So as of once shit was unstable,
it's all my fault.
Well, no, but the fact that there was not stability and there was a bunch of moving pieces, and a lot of chaos. I didn't want to invite more chaos into it. I was like, let's just get past this, and then we'll book up guests. I do have Nirvana or Smells Like Teen Spirit performing at 191 on Friday, and I wanted to get them in studio as well. So we got a lot of stuff. Okay. Earlier this morning, a weirdo broke down the weird news. In case you missed it, went on something like this.
Sexy weird news today.
All right, what do you got?
Well, you need to be careful what you're packing when you go on an airplane, right?
Yes, you can't have fluids over 4 ounces. You can't have, I don't know, guns on you. Can't have open drugs. Yeah, there's, some of the usual suspects. Why?
Well, you also need to make sure that you're taking your batteries out of your toys.
Okay. What, RC cars? What do you mean toys?
I mean the vibrating kind.
Oh, love toys.
Uh-huh.
You have to take your vibrators out of your love toys before you bring them out. Wait a second. You're bringing love toys on a carry-on? Is this what happened here?
You can either check that or you can bring it on a carry-on. It is your choice, but you really should take the batteries out or make sure that it is not going to turn on because it is alarming to the staff. And they're like, oh, you got to get off the plane, which is exactly what happened to this TikTok influencer named Amanda Diaz. She racked over 12 million views, and it's because one of her vibrators went off in the overhead bin.
Really? And just started vibrating in an overhead bin.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And the flight attendants were concerned because, again, they don't know. I mean, they know, but it is part of the rules.
That's true. I mean, yeah, these flight attendants, they could hear the sound coming from the overhead container and think to themselves, I know what that sounds like.
It's not an electric razor.
Right. But even if it was an electric razor, why kick this woman off the airplane?
Because they have to see the bag and they have to do it off of the airplane. So it's just part of that protocol, right? Instead of just being like, hee, click. No, you have to completely go off the airplane. And her good friend filmed the entire thing.
Okay.
And the flight attendants were also giggling because they're like, what the hell? But it was several toys that were in there. It wasn't just one was going off, but when she opened it up, she had several toys in there.
Did she say how long she was going away for? Where was she going? It obviously wasn't a romantic vacation.
I mean, it is a stereotype, but women do tend to overpack for those 3-day trips.
Apparently so. Yeah. So did you see the pictures of the sex toys in question?
I saw a picture of her.
Okay.
She's banging hot.
Well, I'm sure she's banging hot, but we're going to have to look at the TikTok video and the podcast broadcast. But yeah, let that be a lesson. And make sure you take your batteries out of your sex toys before storing them in the overhead container or compartment. Or if they go off, that means you're going to have to get off the airplane.
You're right.
I had finished that sentence.
Yeah, you did.
What else is going on in weird news?
So when you buy lingerie for another woman, have you ever bought lingerie for another woman?
I think once it's very difficult because you don't want to get the size wrong, and it's just not a non-win situation. Any guys out there who've successfully done it, my hat's off to you. It seems like an impossible feat.
All right, so you buy the lingerie for a woman so she'll look sexy in it, right?
Mhm.
Can you come up with any other reasons why you might buy lingerie or a thong?
No, just a gift for a lover.
Well, a farmer on social media has a completely random reason that I would have never thought of for lingerie.
Okay.
To help grow watermelons.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. How is he growing watermelons with thongs?
So when the watermelons are growing, they get bigger and they get heavier. And to keep them from sinking into the ground, he puts them on the fence with a lingerie. So that way they can still breathe and be able to fully grow and fill into them.
Yeah, he still sounds a little perverted. What about granny panties? Does it have to be thongs? Does it have to be lacy? It seems like he has a preference.
Lacy and breathable is the key. And I can tell you, as somebody who has worn granny panties, those are not breathable whatsoever.
Okay.
I have laundry days occasionally.
What about crotchless? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, but then it just falls through.
Oh, okay, maybe. Well, I don't know how big your crotch is, but, watermelon shouldn't be plopping through so easily. Yeah.
That just gave me a visual.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's to avoid to reduce the risk of rot.
Sure.
And plus, I don't know. I was looking at some pictures and it's actually kind of sexy. It's weird.
Yeah.
I got a new food fetish.
It's so funny too, because if you put the thong on at an early stage in developing those watermelons, like gravity would kind of make them kind of shape them.
Uh-huh.
So you're going to make these kind of watermelon butts, and then you got a whole new fetish like popping up. People love watermelon and people love butts. And if you combine the two, you're going to have a bunch of weirdos out there banging watermelons. So
you got something new you want to search up?
no, dude, no. And you should stop getting so turned on over the idea. All right, so there's your weird news, weirdo. We're going to hit the reset. When we come back, we're going to have Justice Spears pop in and give us the takeaways from the big game last night. And you got your F My Life coming up after that. So stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, good news. I got weirdo an email contact, so she's gonna help me out, which is good. My favorite video before we go into commercials and whatnot, and weirdo's gonna showcase something cool that's in the Tucson Mall. My favorite video from this weekend is right here. I'm so relatable to this. All right, so this is Brittany Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes' wife. Who is living the VIP life. Now, Patrick Mahomes also has a brother who's kind of, more like Patrick's dad than anyone else. So he's a hanger-on, he's kind of this kid. And so Brittany Mahomes in the VIP section in Vegas nightclub enjoying some kind of concert, and she gets let in, and Patrick Mahomes' brother is trying to tag along. And Brittany explains he's with me, but the security guard's not having it. And then this is what happened. Check this out. He's like, yo, I'm Patrick Mahomes' brother. Can you let me in? He's like, nah, man. And it's her reaction. Fuck it. And then just start dancing.
Sorry, bro.
It's so good. It's such a good reaction, too. He's like, look, man, I'm famous because my brother. Like, nah, man, you're a bum. He's like, yeah, he is. And then breaking it down.
That's so funny.
That was my favorite video from the weekend. All right, let's get right into this. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That's AFI Miss Murder and Rock 102. Well, I already said that. I don't have black tide in my system, by the way, Jeff, but thank you for that request. I do have weirdo in studio. Let's talk about some cool things happening in our own backyard. I didn't know about this, weirdo, but this is a great place to bring the kids. You went to the Tucson Mall this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why did you go to the Tucson Mall besides Tucson Games and Gadgets and getting a haircut at Rustics and all of our fine friends? And
exactly.
Yeah.
So we went to so there's this traveling inflatable, fun park called Fun Box. They were in Phoenix for a couple weeks and now they're down in Tucson for a couple weeks.
Fun Box?
It's called Fun Box.
Wow,
yeah.
man. And that was the nickname. Never mind. So Fun Box is it's almost like a circus, right? So what is their specialty?
So it's a huge and inflatable palace. It's insane.
It's a bouncy house.
It is.
But on steroids.
Yes.
And you got pictures?
So many steroids. Yes, I do.
Okay, show me what you got here on the podcast broadcast. So first off, how much did it cost to participate in this giant bounce house that's in a parking lot of Tucson Mall?
So opening weekend was $19 a ticket. Now it's $28 a ticket, and they're for 1.5 sessions. And to me, it was absolutely worth it, even though there was like 7 of us. Okay, it was quite a bit, but it was so much fun. And they got music playing, and they do have some, kind of quote unquote refs, making sure that people were being fine. But we were running around like maniacs, and we didn't get yelled at. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bounce house, so you could literally run into the wall and not hurt yourself. So that's fun. $28 now, though, for an hour and a half. That's super cardio, too. Were you winded as soon as you stepped on that thing?
Oh, my God. My legs hurt so bad.
It is great exercise. And I know, a goal's like any parent's goal when you're a parent is to wear out your young ones as quickly as possible each and every day.
Yeah. So this is just one like huge like mountain you climb up, and then there's slides that you go down. This was the obstacle course that you could go through.
Yeah. How long did you have to wait in line before you could participate on this thing?
You just show up 15 minutes early to check in. They check in everybody, and then you go in.
Now, do you have to make reservations?
You can go online, or you can get the tickets there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could like run across these booby looking things.
So they say about you want to show up, and then you buy your tickets, and you wait about 15 minutes for your allowed to go in.
Exactly.
All right, and it's all ages. Yeah. You get all crazy, do flips and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
If you're fit, you like to show off in front of people.
Yeah, but there was this really cool like Ninja Warrior like run up wall, and there was a guy that was nice enough to take her little family photo.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then just running around. This is my girlfriend, and just jumping on things because we can.
Yeah. That's cool. So it's like a giant obstacle course. Are there any rides in there? It does look like there's like almost like a carousel in the middle there, but it's not.
Yeah. So this thing that's right here, kind of on the left, that is where you try to like run around in the circle and like run sideways up a wall.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Were you able to do that? Matrix it?
I didn't get very far. But my 14-year-old actually did a really good job.
Okay.
She got up real high. So
nice.
Yeah. And
run so fast you're running sideways on a wall. Only in a bouncy house can you do this.
Yeah.
Did you find out any more information on this or this?
Funbox.com and just click Tucson and be able to get your tickets. And again, just getting to run around and just act like morons is the best thing ever. I'm just be silly. Like we played zombie tag. We played hide and seek. We had so much fun.
I'm just intrigued by this business model, right? This is a new version of a carnival. It's nothing new. It's actually one of like a classic American businesses is setting up like a sideshow and then traveling from town to town. That's what they did. They invested in a souped up version of a bouncy house.
Right.
And all they're doing is going from market to market. And turning on their generators, filling that thing up, and then selling $30 a ticket. Good on them.
Yeah, I mean, just for our family alone, it was like $190.
Damn.
Yeah,
for an hour and a half. But again, you get the kids worn out. You get some exercise in the process. And the weather's fine right now. So,
oh my God, we actually layered up because we were like, man, it's really chilly. We went at 10:30 in the morning, and we were peeling off layers.
Yeah.
But here is a very, very good suggestion when you go to something like this: still wear long sleeves and pants because that latex burn is real.
Oh yes, I thought so. I'm surprised you didn't know about the latex burn before you went into this.
Exactly, you thought I would have known about that. But yeah, no, it was definitely a lot of fun. Like I said, they were playing music. It was kind of like, I don't know, just a good time, and everybody was having fun. Nice. Like watching people chuck their kids everywhere. Oh, it was great.
Yeah, no, it's a great time a great opportunity to be able to take your kid, throw them against the wall, and bounce right back on you. I mean, honestly, good times all the way around. So I'm kind of mad I didn't come up with this business idea. But you know what? There's plenty. You could have more than one traveling inflatable carnival going around town. And what do you got to hire? Only 2 meth heads as opposed to like 200 if you had an actual fair setup?
It was mostly teenagers. I don't think they were meth heads.
Oh, that's very good. Then they come to town, they hire some teenagers on a part-time basis, kick them down some cash under the table. I know how this business is ran. I need to invest my own. All right.
Vegan presents.
Yeah, we'll show more video on the podcast broadcast stream. We got more coming up after music from Nirvana. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Let's see. And you have another video there?
Yeah. This is, I think, of me running in slow motion, making the worst face possible.
Yeah. What is up with?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, let's see what she does. Is she gonna flip? She's gonna jump up and just up,
Face
straddle, whatever the hell that is.
I don't know. There was all kinds of stuff. But we were doing wrestling moves. But I wish this had gotten caught on camera, but we were playing tag, and my partner Chris was trying to tag Andrew. And they were kind of in front of this pillar. And I was like, well, I'm going to go around the other side to tag Andrew. He didn't see me, and I got completely laid out. So it added to my bruise that I already had from the freaking concert Friday. I got my ass kicked this weekend. It was great.
Now, Aaron, I feel you on that, but I'll tell you what, a great way to not be too fat for that shit is just go there for an hour and a half. You're going to burn a ton of calories, and I might have some fun on that. Those bouncy parks, all the things that the kids enjoy doing now, exhausting. Just
oh my God, so exhausting. But here's the thing, like we got through like an hour of it, and I was like, I'm just now getting tired. And we still had a half an hour to go. And as somebody who I recently got diagnosed with osteoarthritis in my hips, so I do feel old. I was fine.
Nice.
Felt great. Like, because it's nice and bouncy and cushiony, but I mean, my legs were tired. But so were my kids, and they're, kids.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Now, the moment that you guys all been waiting for. You want to hear a middle-aged white guy have a hot take about the Super Bowl halftime show starring Usher? Well, you're in luck because I got one for you, and it went a little something like this. Check it out. Seether with Wasteland on Rock 102.1 KFMA. So what did you think of the halftime show?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No hot takes for you then, huh?
Nope. We watched highlights from the Puppy Bowl.
Okay, so you flipped the channel to the Puppy Bowl?
Kids, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you were afraid that, Usher was going to be indecent or anything for the Super Bowl, you shouldn't have been. I mean, it's still like, under a microscope. So performers have learned their lesson since Janet Jackson's Nipplegate. But I will say, I'm coming across all these like write-ups where they talk about this like the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What Super Bowl halftime show did you see? For me, it seemed pretty uneventful and forgettable, to say the very least. And just a reminder that, Usher didn't necessarily have the legacy that they were hyping him up to have. Now, I don't want to come off as like a hater here, but the reality is most of his catalog is forgettable at best, and I made the argument on Friday that the Killers probably should have headlined Las Vegas Super Bowl because it was in Las Vegas. And I think there was some sort of like almost like a tradition started a couple of years back in LA when Dr. Dre headlined the Super Bowl in LA because, hey, this is a representative of the area that the Super Bowl is hosting, right? This is Los Angeles. Here's Los Angeles artists, and act like Usher and Ludacris and Lil Jon would have been appropriate more so if the Super Bowl was in Atlanta.
Yes.
Right. And then you'd have all these other great Atlanta artists coming out and performing. But that wasn't the case. And here's my argument to, essentially put the naysayers to rest here. If you don't think that Usher's catalog is lacking, then here's my exhibit A. Okay. They performed the song Yeah in its entirety.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally it's all samples.
It's all snippets. It's not even samples, but usually, there's so little amount of time to perform, your entire career as far as a set on a global stage. You want to kind of stick and move. When was the last time you recalled an artist performing at the Super Bowl, performing an entire song? It had the intro and even the outro of Yeah. And that song came out literally 20 years ago. I was in the clubs spinning that song when it came out. So, I mean, I enjoy the song. I definitely, understand and respect the value of how big of a hit that was. But they booked him on the Super Bowl halftime show for that one song. Yeah. And then Lil Jon and Ludacris came out and they performed that song. And for the first time in recent memory that I can recall ever, an artist performed a song from the very beginning, intro, all the way through, and then had the outro little fade out. I'm like, what was that? So essentially we did 10 minutes of warm-up dances and little snippets to just hear Yeah in its entirety. That's all we wanted anyways.
Right.
Should have just did Yeah and made it the shortest halftime Super Bowl performance of all time. And it would have been one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Another takeaway.
And super memorable if that was it. Everybody's all hyped up for 12 minutes. Nope, you get 2.5.
Right.
I'm out.
You could have done the EDM remix of Yeah and really had Vegas jumping. Another takeaway from one of the snippets was Jermaine Dupri performed along with Usher, and everyone thought he was CeeLo. If you look at the picture,
did see these photos. Yeah. And people on Twitter being like, I wore that same outfit to church when I was 3.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What? So, I mean, Jermaine Dupri's waking up this morning like, oh, man, I messed up.
Why are you wearing ruffle socks like a 4-year-old girl?
Yeah, he looks like little orphan Annie meets CeeLo. That's exactly what happened. And so the takeaway was the 2 hot takes for the Super Bowl halftime show, which you're not going to find a bad write-up on this for whatever reason, right? Everyone's afraid to, criticize anything. Everything's amazing. Mm-hmm. But I felt like it was lackluster and forgettable. And the old thing was set up just to do Yeah. And Yeah was the only song that anyone in attendance or, most people watching cared about. You want to hear Confessions Part 2 at the Super Bowl? Not necessarily, like it just didn't translate. It didn't fit the format. And I think they dropped the football, literally when it came to this halftime show, because a band like the Killers, who came from Las Vegas and is Las Vegas born and bred and had a debut album called Sam's Town and everything else, would have put together a spectacular Super Bowl set, which would have been more mainstream and universally known and represent the region a lot better. And then you blew your chance at having, Usher perform in Atlanta for the Super Bowl.
Well, and you go down to Fremont Street when they have the huge long row of the screens. They do a Killer show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And it's about 12 minutes. So just literally take that script and take it to live.
They had it right there. It was a layup, and they failed on that.
Yeah.
But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the song Yeah in its entirety. It was fantastic. All right, let's hit the reset. We got more coming up here, including your take. Actually, let's give away. All right, so that was my hot take. Am I wrong on that? I mean, to hear a full song at a Super Bowl halftime show from beginning, middle, and end was mind-blowing to me. I was like, what? Doing the whole thing?
Well, and I did Google it. Nobody else has done that.
Of course not.
Full song. It's always been the snippets.
I know. And
the verse, chorus, at most.
Yeah, and that just shows the weakness of his catalog. But again, you can't say anything bad about Usher in the media, apparently, because I have not came across one article that said, hey, this Super Bowl halftime show is meh.
Yeah, everybody on Twitter is like praising it.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, they are making fun of their
Jermaine
Dupri.
Well, yeah,
that's
because
about
he
it.
looks weird. And no one even mentioned, well, I'm sure people mentioned that Usher was wearing one glove, did an homage to Michael Jackson, but even Michael Jackson had so many hits, he was able to do a bunch of snippets, and his show, went down in history as one of the greatest halftime performances for a long time, So, the whole thing was just like when they announced it, I wasn't buzzed. I know Yaz, when we had her in, she was all about it, but I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't get why that would be the case. Like Usher had his run and where he was one of the biggest stars. And in the last 20 years, he completely dropped off. Don't tell me he didn't drop off. He hasn't done anything. And since so there isn't a Yeah Part 2 that tore up, the dance floors.
Right.
And so him doing that song from beginning to end was the example that just kind of proved my point.
Well, I got another outfit comparison.
I don't give a fuck about that.
Oh, okay.
All
I was about to say, because
so-
it's good. From Ludacris to Ben Stiller.
Yeah, whatever. Outfits. Did you see that somebody streaked at the Super Bowl last night?
I mean, we heard it, but it didn't. The camera didn't pan over, and then my girlfriend's like, "Why aren't they showing it?" And it's like, well, because that encourages people, and they want to discourage it.
Yeah, I took footage from people posting it on Twitter and posted on our story yesterday, so you could see it right here. All right, so this is for your girlfriend. And this is my edit from several different shots of the Super Bowl streaker. And he only took his shirt off. So a lot of people thought it was Jason Kelsey, but it wasn't. Yeah.
Partial stripper.
Yeah. And I was like, if you're going to streak, you got to fully commit.
Yeah.
You can't just half-ass it. But here, check out this guy get tackled real quick. So he slides down, and arms behind his back like, you got me. They quickly pick him up. And of course, this is at the tail end of the play. You'll hear the referee say that there was no interference. So they just continued on the play. And they quickly picked him up and shuffled him off into the corner. So was it worth it? How much money did you spend just so you could spend a night in jail and be banned from all NFL games for the rest of your life? Because why would we? Why would we care, man? You know, not even a footnote in history. It's a whole lot of nobody cares. But I did put it together. I got a good like 2,700 hits on that short. I did that because I edited together Justin Spears and Ali's short from they're starting a podcast. I'm trying to help out their page. And I was like, this is what you need to do. And I was like, I'll tell you what, give me a timestamp of something you talked about, and I'll make a short for you. Right. And so they gave me one. I made a quick little 60-second clip and I sent it over to him. And then Andrew posted it and I saw it and I was like, okay, I'm glad you posted it, but now I want you to relabel it and throw these hashtags onto it. And they did, and now they got like 2,400 views on that short.
Nice.
But now that happened, I was like, well, I need to step up my game. After I saw they got 2,400 views, I posted 2 shorts yesterday, got over 6,000.
Nailed it.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Of course, yesterday, most people only cared about the commercials. All right. What was your favorite commercial from the Super Bowl yesterday, Weirdo?
I got 2 that are tied. The mayonnaise commercial with the meow. And then the Dunkin' commercial. That was good.
Yeah, the Dunkin' commercial was definitely my number one. Here's the mayonnaise commercial. If you aren't familiar with what she's talking about.
Leftover chicken, scallions, cheese. What am I going to make with this? Mayo. Hellman's.
Does that cat actually say mayo, by the way? Is that a real cat?
I don't know.
Probably.
Wait, you can talk. And then she says, and boom, Hellman saves the leftovers.
Oh my gosh, this cat is talking.
And now, our keynote speaker.
Want to go pound some milk and rip up my couch?
Oh, yeah. That's a yes. That's a huge yes. Yeah, I mean, that was good. One of my favorite ones from yesterday was the Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger State Farm.
Yes.
Right?
Nice little twist.
Yes. And I got actually a really cool cocaine story that I want to share with you right after I play this clip, just to refresh your memory. Of course, they hyped up Arnold Schwarzenegger appearing in a State Farm commercial for a couple weeks before it aired. And then the big surprise in the reveal that was his former Arnold Schwarzenegger's former Twins co-host, DeVito, showed up and made a cameo. So check this out.
Thank you, Agent State Farm.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cut. Hey, Arnold, I'm hearing neighbor. It's neighbor.
That's what I said. Neighbor.
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 Let's go again.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cut.
Now what?
Neighbor.
Yeah, neighbor. Just like it's written on the paper. Neighbor.
Still no.
Neighbor.
Neighbor.
Bar.
Bar.
Bar. This lady's in labor.
Cut. Arnold.
Thank you, Agent State Farm.
Like a good
neighbor, State Farm is there.
backstabber.
I'm a backstabber.
Yes, everyone loves DeVito there.
So
there's
good.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, never saying the hard R, which is good when you got a name like Schwarzenegger, right? So, here's a fun story about Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger from around their Twins fame. DeVito actually revealed this recently in an interview podcast where he was talking about how him and Arnold showed up to a Hollywood party one night. And this party was one of those for the record books, right? It was a rager. And the way that the host of this party would welcome their famous guests is that there were mirrors laid about everywhere. And everyone's last name was written in cocaine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Arnold was like, hey, Danny, look, Schwarzenegger.
Right.
Yes.
So much
cocaine. Insane. But I think the consensus, the Chris Pratt Pringles commercial was all right and a nice little surprise. But the real king of the Super Bowl commercial happened to be Ben Affleck in Dunkin' Donuts. And Ben Affleck doing his Dunkin' Donuts campaign is actually probably like my favorite of his work recently. Like, honestly, these Dunkin' commercials are making me like Ben Affleck again. And yesterday was a prime example of that. And even Matt Damon, got J-Lo in there, Tom Brady, a lot of big names popped in for this Dunkin' Donuts commercial that sounded like this.
I don't think you should do this. Last year she came to my work. Now I got to show her what I can do.
He's here.
Affleck on the track.
What up, Bronx? For your consideration, here comes the Boston Massacre. The Dunk Kings. Touchdown, Tommy on them keys. Player coach.
Got it.
I'm open. And needs no introduction, my partner.
Sometimes it's really hard to be your friend.
You said you had to support me.
Dunk Kings.
Don't go away. My heart. Why you dunking me, girl? Why you dunking me?
Dunk Kings.
How do you like them donuts? I'm so sorry.
You had to see it, but I forgive you. Lay us on the track.
Are we going to be on the album?
We talked about this.
Let's go. You're blinded by them pinstripes.
Wrap it up.
There goes Babe Ruth.
Tom, you can stay.
You remember when I told you I'd do anything for you? This is anything.
Show. They're naming a drink after us.
All right, so is that true though? Are they going to name a Dunkin' drink after Ben Affleck and Matt Damon? We'll see. But it looks like that true though. Are they going to name a Dunkin' drink after Ben Affleck and Matt Damon? Ben Affleck and the Dunkin' Donuts. Sorry, I got distracted because I'm doing this video.
No, so good. It just the fact that like they just again completely bought into it, sold it, committed. That's what always makes it really good.
Acting. They're just acting, my good friend. All right, let's hit the reset on the FM side. Be back with your beef tips right after this. You can join us on the podcast broadcast stream, youtube.com/beefvegan. All right, see. So it auto played the stream. And so it was like almost like Inception. We're like, oh no. Yeah. So there we go. Earlier this morning, we did F My Life, and it was a good one. I actually had some really weird F My Lives. And in case you don't believe me, check this out.
Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward.
It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupid.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600-KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, it's time for another edition of Your F My Life, brought to you by Casino del Sol. Cruise on down to Soul Town February 4th through March 27th, where Club Soul members can collect game pieces to weekly drawings for free play and other prizes only at Casino del Sol. All right, you ready here, Weirdo?
I am.
First F My Life email sent to me by Brittany. Brittany said, this weekend I was at Walmart walking around when I slipped on some water and twisted my ankle. As I was getting up, a man came up to me and said, there's some water on the floor. Watch out. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
F My Life for Brittany. What do you say?
Oh, God. Ankle injuries suck.
I know. You should be suing them for millions of dollars.
Yeah, right? Did they have one of those signs up? No.
I know. It's such a hassle, though, right? But yeah, F your life. All right, next email sent to me by Justin at beefvegan@kfma.com. And he said, hey, Beef, today my father told me to go get a job. He's been unemployed for 3 years.
Because of course.
Uh-huh.
Wait, is your dad unemployed or retired?
I'm sure unemployed.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you going to say for Justin?
Yeah, F your life, dude.
He's like, somebody's got to pay these bills.
It ain't going to be me.
That's right. Next F My Life email sent to me by Blake. Blake said, I found a great recipe for dinner and emailed it to myself with the subject dinner tonight. Hours later, I'd forgotten all about it, opened my emails, saw the subject line, and thought someone was asking me out to dinner. I got really excited until I saw the sender address.
You duped yourself.
Treat yourself. Take yourself out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, love yourself. F My Life, though?
I'm going to say Big Baby. I've done things like this where I'm like, oh, my God. No, I'm an idiot.
You get your hopes up, and, you know, I kind of feel the pain there, Blake. So I want to lean towards F My Life. But how many times have you done this, weirdo?
I mean, not this specific, like, ooh, somebody's asking me to dinner, but just where I'm like, oh, I got a nice little message. No, I didn't.
Yeah. That's why I got to stop emailing myself sex tonight because I always let myself down. All right. 2 more left here. Jermaine sent me this email, beefvegan@kfma.com. Said, this weekend I felt cold driving, so I blasted the heat. The one thing I didn't expect was a load of tiny spiders spilling out from the vents and withering all over my dash.
Burn the whole car down. F your life completely. You need a new vehicle.
No, just drive around with the windows rolled down, Jermaine, but definitely F your life. That's terrifying. All right, final F my life of the day sent to me by Luke. Luke said, Sunday, my wife came back from her camping trip with her friends. I decided to help her out by unpacking her stuff while she used the bathroom. It's funny. I never knew that a sex toy, a ball gag, and an open pack of condoms were considered camping gear.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's not good for Luke.
Oh, not even close.
Should we tell him? You want to tell him? I don't know. I think he knows.
I think
life.
He must have figured it out.
Yeah.
Yep. You're going to divorce court.
Ugh. Brutal. All right. Yes, definitely F my life. Keep those emails. All right, so there's your F My Life for the morning, and we got about 3.5 minutes before we get back on the air for the beef tip. I want to give a heads up. We are going to start giving away cash on this station and all our stations here on February 20th, and I definitely want my streamers to be the winners on this. So, just kind of keep an eye out, or an ear out, I should say, for the keywords. There's going to be 5 different keywords a day that you're going to text in. Now, this is a promotion that's throughout the whole company, but every single day, for 6 weeks, every weekday, I should say, they're going to give away $2,024. And we did the math, and it literally adds up to more than what I get paid in a year that they're giving out.
Wow.
I know. It's a lot of money they're giving away. So, plenty of opportunities. It looks like we should have Tucson winners happen a lot. And this is kind of like a way for the station or the company to build up ratings. But I'm like, well, you could, I don't know, pay me more and give me full-time help, and ratings will increase that way with consistency and greatness. Greatness. All right, you can just pay me more so I could buy things to make things better and like boost pros. I also said, I was like, well, you got all this money that you're giving out. Are you going to do any marketing that you're giving this out, or is it just going to be amongst the audience that's already listening, so it's not going to increase our numbers at all? Are you going to do any Facebook post boosts or YouTube or Instagram or any of that?
Something.
And yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, come in. I'm reading what I'm texting right now. For Jen Blanco on Valentine's Day. Because she has the Lady Bitch show, so she's going to bring another comedian in, and I think Gaboozy's wife. But that's going to be Wednesday. So do you have any plans for Valentine's Day?
Not directly on Valentine's Day, because I have my 3 partners. So I had my Valentine's Day date with my boyfriend on Friday, went to the metal show. Then tomorrow night, my girlfriend and I have a date, and then this weekend will be my husband. So we kind of spread it out.
Brutal.
But otherwise, no, just making dinner on Wednesday.
That's okay. No one wants to hear that, weirdo. There's people on the stream that don't have a date on Valentine's Day. You have 3. I mean, try to you're hogging all of the Valentines. I mean, I hope you get cavities.
Fair, I'm hogging 2 people that were already married. It's not like they were on the market.
I don't think that makes you look better in any light. If anything, I mean, write down what you just said.
Right. Say that out loud again and slower.
Exactly. And you're like, wait a second, you're a terrible person. Now, let me show you this little.
Not a home wrecker. I'm a home enhancer.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Let me show this dad hack. And, I thought this was brilliant. Now, I lucked out when my daughter was young. She just had this natural ability to do her own hair. So when she was going to preschool and kindergarten, she looked amazing, and they would always credit me for doing her hairstyle. And it was literally her doing it as a toddler. But if I had to do hair, I would probably do it like this, Dad. And this is brilliant. Yeah. Check out this. Ready? A hose. That's what makes it brilliant. And then plop.
Ta-da. Ta-da. She's so happy.
I know, and adorable.
Your beef's feel-good moment of the day.
I know. We ended on a feel-good moment. Honestly, now I'm going to impregnate the next person I sleep with. Rocco on 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for the show. On the podcast broadcast stream, we ended like a friendly, nice little moment of zen.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of moment of zen, Jon Stewart is back hosting the Daily Show tonight.
Yes.
So after 9 years stepped away, he is back to cover this political landscape of this election year. And good luck to Jon Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's going to remind himself very quickly why he quit in the first place, going over politics today. Jesus. All right, well, let's give you a beef tip before we wrap up the show and pass it over to Robin Nash, who's going to take over. Here are 4 ways to find a great bottle of wine for cheap. Are you a wine drinker?
Not so much.
Okay, well, here are some tips for my wine drinker friends out there. First and foremost, avoid the mass brands, right? Like Barefoot, Yellowtail. Those are everywhere. And I know they're cheap, but they're bad. All right. So instead of aging in an oak barrel, it's just a shortcut to stir a bunch of oak chips in the end. So that's what they do. So stay away from the major brands. Don't buy a bottle with the word sweet on the label. It usually means they added sugar. All right. Avoid wines that brag about being bourbon barrel aged. It means the wine sucks and they did it to cover up the taste. Okay. And finally, in your beef tip, 4 ways to find a great bottle of wine for cheap. Don't assume that all good wine comes from California. Washington makes great wine too. Same for South America, especially Argentina and Chile. So there you go, my wino friends. 4 great ways to get a cheap bottle of wine. That's all the time we have. You hear the theme song. Thank you guys for listening. Be back tomorrow morning. Drive safe, Friday safe, and rock local. Later.
But if you can mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.
I seriously love you guys. Thank you for watching. Hope your team won the